Oh, you're watching Kel67 Gaming, and there's another one being and gone.
Yeah,
May's in the books, which means
another month in games.
so a lot happened over the last month.
Yeah,
Wrapped up all the football season, so the trophies getting awarded and that sort of thing.
Yep.
Then we also played a little bit of this and that,
yeah.
I guess. So probably the best place for us to start
That's where we always start.
is, which is
The kids that we chose for each other last month.
so. Remind me again, what did you pick for me last month?
Well, for you, I chose a game which was you quite enjoyed the original, but I did then obviously recently pick up the second one which came out, which for some reason we never ever got. And for you, I chose Ni no Kuni 2.
Straight into a battle. So I've got 3 members in my party. You can also see that I've infused my sword with fire, which is why I'm able to take out these enemies that are some of them in this particular group are of a much higher level than I am, and there's more of them than the 3 of us. Action RPG obviously as well, which
Yep.
I'm not
The
a
biggest
massive fan of. But I mean, it's all right. It's functional as the you just don't see, because I like strategy games as well. You can't be as tactical when you're just running around mashing a button. So you see here that I'm going to just take a little detour and take out this couple of levels higher than my enemy or group of enemies, and see, because I've got
Added
upgrades,
fire damage and that.
and a level up as well, which gets me a level closer to them. And you see all the wee Pikmin running about. Apparently they help you, but I'm not entirely sure what they do.
Still find out.
Well, I mean, they're there in the day, something. But
Just what is that something that they do?
they just run about being Pikmin as far as I can see. And another victory. And you kind of have to embrace the grind a little bit in this game. Well, it's like you can see, even though I have ground out a few levels, I'm still lower than the enemies.
Yeah.
So you're right that I really did enjoy the original of this game. I was a little bit gutted to find out that the sequel has got absolutely no connection to the first game whatsoever. And most importantly, there was no Mr. Drippy. That was a bit disappointing. But it is still the same thing, the whole Studio Ghibli inspired story. If I'm going to be like really overly harsh on it, you saw there in the gameplay that we had, I was quite easily taking out groups of enemies that were above my level. I think that this is an easier game than the first one. But that's not to say it's not enjoyable. It's different, and the only thing that it really has in common with the first one is the art style, which I love, by the way. That art style is just brilliant. It's like you're playing a cartoon, which is just great fun. It's one of those where I don't think I could recommend it as one of the greatest RPGs or story-driven games that I've ever played. But if you've got it and you haven't played it, certainly worth
At least
sticking
trying
it
it,
in the
yeah.
machine and see what you think of it. So that was me. Now,
What
For
did you choose for
you,
me?
I chose you a nice retro game, a proper retro game. Probably 30 years old, somewhere around that. And it was a game that I remembered on the Amiga by the Bitmap brothers, who were brilliant back in the day. I think it's also a Renegade game, is it not? Which was the same company that gave us the almighty Sensible Soccer. But I asked you to play the Chaos Engine.
And here we are, just another little side bit, taking out some of the enemies here.
So there's a few characters that you can choose from, isn't there, on this?
Yeah.
Why did you go for these two?
Because
Was it just the first two that you went for, or did you actually try them all out?
I tried a few of them out, and even though these are the two which, out of your starting budget, will cost the most, pretty much taking up the entire thing, they do they start off with more damage, a bit more health and everything. But I have played it with like some of the, I guess what you could call the cheaper characters who obviously aren't as good, but also the powers that they've got. So like your special power, like when I originally played it, I can't remember who it was, but their powers, you got to see the map. Whereas like with the character that I'm currently playing, it's more of like a Molotov that you get as your power. So, but I have tried, I'd say around half of them out or something like that. So
The other thing I've noticed is that you're quite low on health here. Have you upgraded at this point in the game?
yes, I think the
But
mission.
not on your health though.
I did actually.
Did you?
Yeah, because I had like 2 or 3 before this, so I've went up to 4. But no, there you go. There's a special power. Just get the node out already, and seeing as I'm on low health, I kind of have to.
It's quite unforgiving as well. With
Yeah.
I think playing this, it's a bit like so you'll not know the reference here, but Berserk on the Atari 2600, where the shot doesn't come straight out the middle. It's like it's slightly offset, and it kind of that throws me a bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not coming straight out the middle of your character.
It's not straight out the middle of the character, mainly because the gun's not right. Now, I did quite enjoy my time with it, I'll be quite honest. I quite like the element of you get to choose your character, obviously they start with different stats, but it kind of, you have to kind of work your way through with money and that, obviously, to get your upgrades and everything. Obviously, you don't get upgrade after every single level. It's every 3rd level or something like that.
You've got to choose your upgrades
Carefully as well.
Because this is proper old school retro hard.
It's not forgiving at all.
No, absolutely not. If you choose the wrong upgrade, you can find that it's impossible for you to get through the next few levels.
Yeah. Which obviously means you might have to restart, go back, get different upgrades, and in that point it's a bit of trial and error in a way. But no, I did decently enjoy my time with it. I'm not sure when I'll go back to it, but I'm sure that at some point I will.
Well, it doesn't have to be that one. I mean,
No, because
I don't think that we've properly went through the Evercade
no,
cartridges and found little gems that we want to play. I think that should be something that we try and do in the coming days, weeks and months, whatever it might be.
yeah, something like that. But obviously with it being on the Bitmap Brothers cartridge, I did try other ones and didn't put a lot of time into them. Chaos Engine was the main one, and I think I tried Speedball, but for me, I just couldn't get into that.
Speedball 2 is the one.
That's just me personally, but
Speedball 2 is the one. The original Speedball, it's alright. Speedball 2 does everything better. I think it's got Speedball
2100 or
2100 on as well, which was the PlayStation 1 game. That's not as good. It looks better than Speedball 2, but it's not as good. It doesn't play as well.
I can't remember. There's one more which is a shooter. They shoot 'em up, but
Is it Xenon or something like
Xenon
that?
2 or something like that. And yeah, it was alright, but as I say, Chaos Engine was the only one which I put a decent amount of time into.
Chaos Engine's just got a little bit more to it, going through the levels and finding the nodes and all the little secrets and the keys to open up the new areas.
Yeah, and like the secrets and everything. Yeah, it was just the one out of the entire college which I actually quite enjoyed. So
you played a bit of that anyway.
Yeah.
What else did I play? As I mentioned earlier, that it was the time of the year where the football season wraps up and you see trophies getting handed out. So I, hot on the heels of watching Celtic lift the league trophy again, decided that I wanted to play a football game. So obviously I went straight to FIFA 22, played a bit of that, discovered that it was total shite. I went for a good football game. So I cracked open the Neo Geo and played Super Sidekicks. So this is the Neo Geo, getting a bit of an out. Haven't played it as much as I really should have since we got it. Neither of you, to be fair.
yeah, and there's a lot of good games on there. So
There is, because you like all the metal slugs. They're all on there.
yeah,
And the Shock Trooper games are on, which are pretty decent too.
King of Fighters is on there and everything as well.
You like your fighters as well, don't you?
Yeah. So probably should give it more love and attention than what currently given it.
You should. And you can see that my players here aren't particularly brilliant. They're missing all their passes, and because Argentina isn't a very good team on this game. And it also doesn't help that instead of a goalkeeper, they appear to have like a brick wall. So I did play loads and loads of this, but every time I think I've got it sauce, I'm getting better. I have another game and I cannot score. So like when I was recording the footage here, at the game before this, I did manage to get a 7-0 win. And I thought, should have been recording that one. I'll just do it again. Nah, I didn't just do it again. All of a sudden it just become a lot more tricky.
Oh, well, that's just how it goes though,
But that's what keeps you going back, because like if you win easily all the time,
there's no point really.
There's no challenge, so why would you bother? See what I mean about the goalkeeper? They don't. That's what I'm saying though. They don't always do that. So it might be kind of like a false difficulty spike. So this game is one that I've got really good memories of playing this student union at Teesside when I was there. They had the arcade version of Super Sidekicks, and I thought I was good at it, but having put in some real serious time on this version of the Neo Geo, I don't know if you'll ever master this game, because you just don't get two games the same. Goalkeepers are far too good. Sometimes they're really bad. Sometimes your passes hit the target, sometimes they're way off. So it's kind of it's a huge mixed bag. You think you're getting the grips with the game, and then all of a sudden it throws you in against one of the top teams, and your players can't see each other. It's like you tell them to hit the pass, and it goes off in the wrong direction. But it never gets frustrating. You always. It's a weird game, because I'm convinced that it's like built into the program that sometimes it just doesn't do what you want it to do. But you never think that it's the game's fault. You always feel like it's your fault.
Well, it is if you put too much power or too much weight on your pass or something.
But you see that doesn't exist on here.
Yeah.
You don't have power bars for your passing and your shots and that. But there you go. It's I really did enjoy playing it again, because That brings back a lot of good memories. Like I say, the student union at Teesside, we played this thing to death. I hate to think how much money we put into it, but I needed a football game, and I have to say, FIFA 22 really let me down. That has got to be one of the worst games that I've ever had the misfortune to switch on. Unlike Super Sidekicks, which was much better. So what else have you played?
Well, I went and played an original Xbox game, but obviously I had the backwards compatibility on the Xbox One, and I went and played Manhunt. Now, as you say, just casually in the shadows as we're...
Oh, I thought you were taking a shit.
No.
No?
Just hiding in the shadows. Let's just tame out before he sees me, shall we?
Well, you waited a little while for him to turn around.
Well, off goes his head, though. But,
Kill the rat.
I can't do that.
Why not?
Because, one, I don't have the correct weapon. Two, what's the point? Because it makes noise.
There's no do about. But running doesn't help your cause when you're saying that you're trying to be quiet. Your big clumpy boots on.
Well, I'm now in the shadows, right? For some reason, they don't inspect the shadows thoroughly enough, so I'm completely hidden.
Are you saying that the AI is broken?
No, they're just stupid. Look.
He's looking right at you. Is he talking to you? No, he's
just turns around. Kind of deserves it, let's be honest.
Aye. There's your punishment for stupidity.
And considering there was another person, we'll just smack the wall to get him to come over as well. And if he's...
You might notice that there's a body there.
Well, here's the thing. If they're stupid enough to not look at the shadows, I think I might be fine. Sees his dead friend, doesn't care, still comes to check, and look. Just turns around.
He was looking straight at you. Why did he not just kill you?
Here's your punishment.
Yeah, the AI may be a little weak in this one then, eh?
Now, as I say, I went and played this on the Xbox One.
Should you be playing this? I'm sure this is an illegal game that was banned. Or was it the second one? I can't really remember.
They both got banned, but I think the first one got unbanned. I mean, I don't think Microsoft would be selling on the Microsoft Store if it was still banned.
Probably not, no.
So, yeah. And it constantly goes on sale as well, for like £7 or something like that, on the Xbox One.
I think you're still supposed to be 18 before you play it.
Yeah, I think you're still supposed to be 18 and play Call of Duty, Mortal Kombat, but I've all played them, haven't I? So...
No, well, I have to change the rules in this house.
But no, it's quite a good game actually.
I'm surprised that you stuck at this one, because I know that you like the ultra-violent games and all the rest of it. I totally get that you like the premise of it, but you've always really, well, I don't know if it's that you haven't liked, but you're crap at stealth games.
Well, you say that, I've actually been decent at stealth in this game.
Well, I mean, there was that bit where you interrupted you having a shite that you were hiding in the corner. But the other thing I was, they were really stupid, the AI.
Yeah.
Really, really mentally stupid. It's not like...
But put it this way, the AI either are really stupid and they'll never see you because you're in the shadows, or they'll spot you from a mile away and run towards you, and then you have to engage in the awkward combat system.
I just don't think that in a game like Splinter Cell, you'd get away with someone 2 feet from you looking straight at you and not noticing that you're there.
Just because you're in the shadows?
Aye.
No, but I've got a decent way through the game. I've gotten past 2 absolutely horrendous missions, by the way. One being you have to save his family, who are attached to crosses, which is absolutely horrendous. Because as soon as one of them sees you, they don't run towards you and try and attack you. They run towards your family member to try and kill them. So then you can't really... and you have to save at least one in each area.
Alright.
And then the other one's an escort mission,
Oh.
where you have to escort a homeless person who you don't know, don't care about, to a tomb. As well as you have to find a shotgun.
Why are you escorting someone and then you kill them anyway?
You don't?
So why are you taking them to a tomb if you...
I don't know, you have to take them to an entire graveyard for some reason. But yeah, the combat system, obviously, with melee combat, it's not the best. The shooting aspects, they're bearable, but they're still not the best. Obviously, it's meant to be a stealth game, isn't it? So, obviously, I guess you can...
Going back to these games, though, as well, I noticed that the movement's a bit clunky.
Yeah, particularly, I found it to be quite clunky playing on the Xbox One. I don't know why, but although it's kind of pretty much, though it works out similar, it just doesn't feel right to play on an Xbox One controller for some reason. But
I don't know why, because it played pretty good on a PlayStation 2.
But I'm not sure. But I have enjoyed my time so far with it, and I am going to complete it throughout. So
no, we'll see if you do. Oh, what else did I play? Oh, one of our recent pickup videos, I can't remember if it was the last one or the one before, we did pick up this game, and I said that I really wanted to play it, and I did. So well, I've started it. I'm pretty sure that I've only just scratched the surface of it, but I did sink a good number of hours into Assassin's Creed Origins. And it is Origin. I always got Origins and Odyssey mixed up. It's Origins. It's the Egyptian one, any road. So this is my eagle having a little bit of a scout about here, and you can see that'll be my target. So we'll have a little stalk of him, and I know there's some stairs there, but you know.
It's Assassin's Creed, so you can climb up the walls.
If you can just climb up the walls and just climb up the walls. Although I'm getting closer, so we'll have a little bit of a hunched back.
Bit of a sneak.
And have a little go, because you can see that there's a...
Before you get people.
Oh, I was going to say, before you get to him, there's a guard, but he's going to walk out past the guard, which means that I don't really have to take the guard out.
But it might come in handy to take.
Right, which way is he going? He's coming this way, right? I bet I'd just get off these stairs here. And walk past, and then we'll just we'll have a little pop over the top, and we'll take them out. Do you think? There you go. Oops. Did he have to shout there when he was getting murdered? Because if he hadn't shouted out, they'd never have known I was there.
Well, I'm sorry, you're not going to be quiet if you're being stabbed, are you?
Well, he should be. Which means I have to get into this awful melee combat thing, which should be banned.
What?
Melee combat. The problem is because it's on the bumper buttons, like your blocks and your swings and what have you.
You might want to get out of his way.
Is that right? I've gone. There you go. Just confirm the kill. So like I said, I think I've only just scratched the surface, but it does drip feed you things that keep you engaged. Of course, if you're interested in the setting in the first place. Initially, you're just in a desert, which is what it is.
Well, you're in Egypt, aren't you? So much of the map's probably going to be desert.
Well, aye, but you know, it's not like somewhere where you recognise, but then like it sort of drip feeds you. So although I haven't actually been there, I have seen the Giza Plateau. I've been to Alexandria. I'm not sure if I've been in the Nile or a different body of water, because it seemed to be a lake, but it had Nile crocodiles in it and that. So you got like the drip feed of little things that you want to see, and quite honestly, I'm going to keep playing it till I see my first Sphinx, and do you know
Yeah,
all that kind of gear. I mean, it is an Assassin's Creed game, and they're all pretty much the same, even though they're
different
completely different
settings.
settings. Um, this one has got quite a nice crafting system. Um, we take out things like the aforementioned Nile crocodiles, which have got a really tough hide that you can make better armor and stuff out of,
Yeah.
and all that kind of gear. Um, and I think this is a game that I could spend tens, if not hundreds, of hours in. Of course, I have to find tens or hundreds
Yeah.
of hours to put into it, because I'm quite a I'm
Busy
quite, I'm
person.
quite a no, I'm quite a random gamer. I don't play one game exclusively. Well, we have these little videos every month where we discuss what we've been doing over the last month, and I've never once said I've played one game. I do put in time into a few games at a time, but I'm sure I'll keep playing it and hopefully get to see all the things that I want to see. I want to climb up the Great Pyramid, and I want to sit on top of the Sphinx's head, and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
So you've got goals for the game at least.
Aye, of course.
But for my last game this month, I have went and played. I guess a game which is obviously it's a more recent game, but the way that like the actual type of game and its art style doesn't necessarily reflect that. I've went and played Salt and Sanctuary. So here we are in one of the castles of the game. Massive knight that I'm going up against here, but I'm of a decent level to take it out, and I've got a upgraded
He's a
sword and
bit
everything.
slow and cumbersome.
Yeah, probably because of all the armour and the heavy weapons and that. But I've actually quite enjoyed the time that I've got with it. But even though he's slow, he does do a lot of damage.
Well, aye, but he's not going to hit you very often, is he?
Not really, but I'm level 31 so far. Took out a few of the bosses, but no, it's just quite a good game from what I've played of it. I wouldn't say that I've got a ton of the way through the game, but it's quite good. And I can definitely see where some of the influences of the game come from, and some of the things which kind of, I guess, bring it back to Charlie Murder, which is made by the same people that made this.
Oh, you used to love that game.
Yeah.
But that was different. That was just a straight on side on 2D beat 'em up thing.
Yeah. This is more of like a Metroidvania, Dark Souls mix in a way, which you can kind of see clearly, especially on the character creation and everything, which you do at the very beginning. But got quite a good sword here. So if I was to go to lower levels just to grind a bit out for Salt to level up, I pretty much just one-shot everything, which is quite good.
You're not one-shotting these.
No, because this is around where my level should be. Just take him out. Now, as mentioned, this game is made by the same people who made Charlie Murder. And you can kind of see that. Cause
you say that like that's something that everyone will know.
No,
you know it very well
I know.
because you loved the game,
Yeah,
but
it was
quite a niche little indie title.
Yeah,
wasn't
it was a 360 indie title, which I believe went on Games with Gold at some point. It's got the same art style from Charlie Murder. It's made by, I think, the exact same studios as well. And it's obviously it's got like a form of like a Castlevania like gameplay style, but it's also got like this aspect of Dark Souls in there. Like it
didn't seem as hard as Dark Souls when I was watching you play it.
No, it's I guess.
You mean you've got a sword?
No, like the character creation, it's practically the exact same as a Dark Souls game. I guess you can kind of say like some of the settings are somewhat the same as well. But it's like they're the two like main aspects that the game takes influence from, and it just makes a really good game. I've put a decent few hours into it. Absolutely love the game, and the main reason why I play is because I've heard and seen like gameplay of it, and like heard that it was actually quite a good game, and that there was a second one that came out recently, but for some reason, even though this one's on Xbox, the newest one isn't. It's a PlayStation exclusive. For some
See,
reason,
this is something that's going to happen a bit more often, I think, because does Xbox not now hold the rights to Crash Bandicoot and Spyro,
well, I don't know.
which you think of as PlayStation things, and I mean the major Xbox franchise is Halo, isn't it?
Yeah.
But Bungie's now owned by.
But Bungie
Sony.
hasn't made a Halo game in a while.
Oh, well.
343 Industries, or whatever they're called, does. They've been making
and
it
the
since
other
Halo
one,
4.
The other one is remember you liked Sunset Overdrive.
Mm-hmm.
Sony owns that now.
Mm.
That was an Xbox exclusive
But
too.
I don't think there's been any news that Sony owns Ska Studios, who make the game, as well as like the Renegade Radio and that. I don't think there's been any news or any even talks or anything saying that Sony now own them.
But it wouldn't be big news though. It's not like Sony getting Bungie or Microsoft getting Activision. Do you know what I mean?
You'd think that there'd at least be something saying, oh, that they own them now.
Well, there might have been, and you might just missed it.
Yeah, potentially, but either way, it's a really good game, and I think for anyone who is looking into it or is a fan of Child Murder and that, it's an amazing game to play. And I don't even think it's that expensive. I think £15 or something is its normal price.
No, it doesn't seem too bad.
Yeah, I highly recommend it.
Well, that was your last game of the month, and I've got one more. I do play sports games. Don't know if that disqualifies me from being a proper gamer, but I do play sports games, and I do quite like sports that don't get
As
lots
many
and lots
titles,
of games.
yeah.
So I had a crack at one of those over the last month, and I played Cricket 22. I do like a sports game. And this is one that is kind of like an unusual sport. It's a sport that that I don't understand, but I did play the game last year, right? And obviously last year I played as Scotland in the World Cup, and obviously Scotland's the best team that the world has ever seen at cricket, so I quite easily won that. So I decided I'll play something different this time. Right? So this is me. I'm playing as Durham because they're like the team that's in this tournament now, like the closest to us. Now this is the county championship. And I'm a bit gutted because I've actually played it all the way through and I won the county championship, but it hasn't promoted me to the Premiership.
Why not?
I've got no idea. And I'm imagining that's where all the Scottish teams will be.
Yeah, that makes no sense. If you win it, you don't get promoted.
Aye. So like I won the championship but didn't get any promotion to the Premiership. Cricket's weird.
Definitely makes no sense, that.
You can see I wasn't very good there. I promise you I did win it. That swing didn't look particularly grand.
Yeah. It didn't help your case, did it?
No, didn't. But the couple of shots before was good. And we'll just let that one go through. Because if you're going to throw it that high, it's a bit like the strike zone in baseball. If you're going to miss the sticks by like 3.5 miles, why should I give you a chance to swing at it and catch it? Speaking of which,
maybe you should have listened to your own advice.
Maybe. I mean, fair play. I got me it. So I played a little bit of cricket. Still don't understand the game at all. And I mentioned there that I played last year in Scotland, but obviously I must have been cheating because Scotland, quite clearly, the greatest cricketing nation in the world, and I easily won the World Cup. So I decided to play the county championship this time. And I don't know if Durham's good or bad, but I just knew that they were closest to where we are. So I played as Durham. But this wasn't the same. When I played the World Cup with Scotland, it's like you scored like 300 or 400 and you ran out of time. I don't understand how it was. But in this one, you never run out of time. You just keep going and going and going. There was one innings I got to 2,500, which I assume is pretty good because the other team didn't get anywhere near it.
Probably is.
But it just let me keep going and going and going. Totally don't get cricket at all. And as I was saying, I totally don't understand this, that I won the championship, but it didn't unlock the premiership.
Makes no sense at all, does it?
Stupid game. Although actually the game itself's a reasonable amount of fun. But it doesn't seem to make a difference whether you've got someone who's supposed to be a good batter person or a bad batter person. They play exactly the same. It's not like one can't smash the ball out the stadium while the other one was. You only saw me get the one home run there, but I've got hundreds of them. So I played it. It was reasonable amount of fun. Won the championship. They screwed me out of my promotion into the Premiership, and I won't be going back to it. I think that's where we are.
Yeah.
Although I don't know. I might have a cheeky little World Cup and win in Scotland again.
Yeah, potentially. I don't know anything else about cricket, I'll be honest. I know absolutely nothing, so I can't tell you why you didn't get promoted or anything like that. So
I felt cheated though.
Yeah, I would too, I'll be honest.
Absolutely felt cheated. So that's everything that we've played over the last month or so, which means that we're at the point in the video where we give each other a game to play for next month.
Yeah.
Who do you want to go first?
What have you chosen for me then?
Well, you did kind of mention that you wanted to get a good turn-based RPG that you wanted to really get into.
Yeah, because I really do enjoy RPGs. And just recently I haven't been playing any.
Well, this is an area that I'm really quite good at because I've played lots of RPGs in my time. Not just turn-based.
Just RPGs in general, really.
I just love RPGs.
But obviously, turn-based is your favourite.
Turn-based is my favourite. And you said that it was. I'm sure you mentioned that was what you kind of were looking for, which I have to say knocked out a few good options that I had available, because I mean stuff like I quite like Star Ocean, but I'm not sure that that qualifies. And I think you would love it too, because obviously the art style and all the rest of it. And there was the obvious choices. Would I give you Final Fantasy?
I could probably tell exactly which one you'd probably give me.
I did consider giving you Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
But that was a bit of an obvious choice. So I went for one which is maybe not quite so obvious. However, it is absolutely, without any shadow of a doubt, the best game on the system it was released on. I mean that's just a matter of fact. There's not even there's no, in my opinion, that's just a matter of fact. So you can play this one. This is Lost Odyssey. Although you can't play this one
No,
because this
'cause-
particular one is the Japanese one,
Yeah.
and you might struggle a bit with that.
Yeah, I don't think playing an RPG in a language which I don't actually understand is the best suit, but
So I've got an English one too.
yeah,
You can play the English one.
definitely the English one would I think I'll be playing, because at least then I'll be able to understand it, won't I?
You will, hopefully.
I should. God. If I can't understand English, I don't know how I would fare with the Japanese one, so...
Well, you wouldn't fare very well.
Exactly.
So that's what I'd like you to play. What would you like me to play?
Well, for you, I have chosen a game which is set in the universe which you quite enjoy yourself, being a Warhammer 40k one. This is Space Marine. Now,
So this is not Dawn of War. This is
Dawn of War.
I remember you playing this way back when.
And quite enjoyed it as well.
This is like Gears of War, isn't it?
Somewhat not.
That's what it looked like to me. Is that it looked like Gears of War?
But it is a Warhammer 40k game.
It is.
So,
And I do love the Warhammer 40k
So-
universe.
and I don't believe it's first person. So if it is a shooter, it's not the worst thing, is it?
No, I seem to remember it being a third person
Yeah.
shooter. I think it was. I can't really tell on that.
So potentially,
The
with
40k games are a bit hit and miss.
potentially,
But hopefully this is a good one.
as I say, potentially with Ozzy, I know that you're not the biggest fan of shooters, but with it being a universe which you quite
Well,
enjoy.
On the
As
cover
well.
there, he's got his chainsaw as well. So maybe I can just go around bludgeoning people to death with a chainsaw. That would work.
Yeah, probably would, but obviously, just thought because obviously Warhammer 40k, and again, it's not Dawn of War, which
But
it's a game which
Dawn
you
of
remember.
War was too predictable, and I played it last month anyway.
Yeah.
So that's everything that we've played. A couple of games that we're going to play, which means that we've just about wrapped up this video then.
Yeah. So in the meantime, if you haven't already, give us a like, a share, and a subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you can find out when we upload, and we will see you in the next video.